I'm Brent Hawks. I'm the founder of the Rainbow Faith and Freedom organization and a previous pastor at the Metropolitan Community Church of Toronto. Over the past few days, folks have been asking me questions about the circumstances we find ourselves in with respect to the virus. I've been getting some texts from folks, etc. And some of the questions I think I could have anticipated, having been a pastor for 40 years. Others are new questions. And so want to take some time in the coming days to be able to share with you some thoughts I have around these questions. We're not very sophisticated in this setup, and as we grow, we'll try to become more sophisticated in order to make this a better experience for you. We're in a very, very difficult time, an awful time, in fact. And we know that many folks are losing family members and friends who are dying of this virus, ultimately tens of thousands of people all over the world. We know that many people will have folks in the hospital that they can't visit. I know in the early days of the HIV/AIDS crisis and in the earlier days of the LGBT community, there were difficulties folks had getting into the hospital to visit people who are in intensive care. And so have a sense of what people are going through with the pain of not being able to visit their loved ones and their families right now. People are afraid for their future, afraid for their employment, and for their own health. And so it's a very, very difficult time. And, because I'm a bit of a pastor still, I want to talk today about context. And we hear people say all the time, well, we're going to get to the other side of this. And we know that that's true, right? That we are going to get to the other side of this. And we know that probably most of us are going to end up being fine. That the percentage of people who have to be in intensive care or who die through this is a smaller percentage. And so it's important for us to remember that there's no need for us to be paralyzed by fear in the midst of this. We have amazing survival skills. We've come through a lot, many of us, and we've gotten to the point where we are in our lives. The power of our minds to help us to focus and to not be paralyzed and to think about what's possible is there. The power of the spiritual resources at our disposal are still there. The power of our connections and support of family and friends around us are still there. And in some of the future talks, we're going to talk about this in more detail. But today, my main message is that we can get through this and that there's support that you have. And I hope today is helpful, but it's just the beginning of this conversation. So please post whatever you'd like to in terms of comments or suggestions for future topics. And later on, we'll be able to post different ways that you can help. Thank you.